Joe Biden has announced that America United will be the theme of his inauguration. It might be the funniest story of the day, as we couldn't possibly be any more divided. The left wants to rip the soul out of anyone who supported Donald Trump over the last 4 years. And the Biden-Harris, or maybe Harris-Biden administration, sold itself as being far less chaotic than President Trump's. And that'll certainly be true, as it'll be filled with career politicians and D.C. insiders. But it'll also serve as a fantastic reminder of why Americans sent Donald Trump to Washington in the first place. America United, from the plagiarizing co-presidents of the United States, who said this last week.
We witnessed two systems of justice. When we saw one that let extremists storm the United States Capitol, and another that released tear gas on peaceful protesters last summer.
Are you feeling united yet? All warm and fuzzy? These two race baiters, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, are here to unite the country. Good luck on that, guys. More politicians speak. You remember before 2016 when they always said the politically correct thing and then they did absolutely nothing. That's the way this has always worked forever. Welcome back to our previously scheduled broadcast. America United. Right. Right now, the politically correct thing to say in this country is America is racist. The Democrat message is that this country is a horrific, awful place, swimming in systemic racism. America is literally hell on earth, as millionaire news anchor Joy Reid will tell you.
White Americans are never afraid of the cops, even when they're committing insurrection. Even when they're engaged in attempting to occupy our capital to steal the votes of people who look like me, because in their minds, they own this country, they own that capital, they own the cops work for them, and people like me have no damn right to try to elect a president, because we don't get to pick the president, they get to pick the president.
She's such a victim. She's so brave to live in this horrible place. I don't know how she does it. So there it is. White people are evil. White people own the country. They own the cops. The cops and the 75 million people who voted Trump hate black people. And now the author of the 1994 crime bill is here to lead us to salvation. You got to admit, as a storyline, it's pretty hilarious. In the meantime, the big machine is still canceling people like crazy. People and things, businesses. Parler, built to protect conservative viewpoints, has disappeared as Amazon pulled their server after Apple and Google deleted their app. In New York, the State Bar Association looking to disbar Rudy Giuliani, the man who saved this city after the horrific years of Ed Koch and David Dinkins and led New York and the country after 9/11. In sports, the PGA Tour canceling Trump-owned golf courses, which I have to tell you are some of the best in the country. The 2022 PGA Championship no longer will be held at Trump Bedminster. And tonight we learned that Patriots head coach Bill Belichick is turning down the Presidential Medal of Freedom offered by President Trump. You can't blame him. He's no fool. He knows exactly what happens if he accepts it. So much unity right now. In the meantime, Angela Merkel, German chancellor, major globalist, a woman who hates Trump, doesn't hate him enough to admit that she sees a big problem with American big tech companies censoring him. The Germans, of course, learned a major lesson about censorship about 75 years ago. It's one of the first tools used in fascism. Shut down opposing viewpoints. They don't want to hear it. The amazing irony yet again, the left using fascist tactics to shut down the president that they told us was a fascist.
Arguably, Trumpism is something akin to a fascist social and political movement, and at the very least, we have massive use of fascist tactics.
A lot of voters didn't want to believe everything that was obvious to so many of us, that Donald Trump is a fascist.
He's a fascist, and he hits it on every front. A fascist is a right-wing nationalist.
This headline from conservative satire site The Babylon Bee really says it all. Evil fascist dictator censored and voted out of office. It's funny because it's true. This is what they told us, and this is what's happening. Meanwhile, Nancy Pelosi is going to attempt to impeach the president, saying that he caused an insurrection by lying to the public about the election being stolen from him. Here's Nancy Pelosi doing the exact same thing in 2017. Our election was hijacked, she tweeted. There is no question. This was before there was even an investigation. The election was hijacked. It sounds a lot like stolen, doesn't it? Because she's saying the same thing that the president said. just a few years earlier. By the way, Twitter didn't have any problem with that tweet. There was nothing there. Lucky for her, for Pelosi, no left-wing protesters made it to the Capitol building after Democrats falsely insisted for years that Trump stole the 2016 election from them. And here's a question for the left tonight. What do you think is going to happen to all these people as you demand the cancellation of anybody that supported Donald Trump? Canceling people just for showing up to hear him talk. You're painting 75 million people as traitorous racists. You clearly just want MAGA people to disappear, but that's just not going to happen. In fact, they're just making the case for Trump stronger with all of this. All of this happening right now is reminding people why they supported the president in the first place. The left, at this point, is drunk on power, and it's not even January 20th yet. They're having the time of their lives right now. This is what they've always wanted. And let's be honest, the left just kicked our butts. No shame in saying that. Now, they didn't fight fair, and COVID, of course, was the greatest gift they could have ever asked for. But a win is a win, and they won. The problem is the left, they're bad winners. MAGA people right now are down on the ground, and the left is kicking dirt in their faces. And they're not going to forget this. The energy will build based on this, and 2022, the midterms, could be a good old-fashioned shellacking. The mail-in voting, think about it, it's going to be gone by then. The left won't have Trump to panic and motivate their base. The media won't have anything to talk about because Trump's not going to be in the picture. Biden will be drooling through his press conferences. Kamala will be as phony as ever. Republicans are going to be angry, motivated, and desperate to get some kind of power back. The Senate is tied right now. It's 50-50. Kamala's 51. The House is barely in Democrat control. The 2022 midterms are going to be really, really interesting. And the libs may look back on this moment and all they're doing right now and really regret it. Oh, and also, just to light the Republican fire even hotter, Nancy Pelosi determined to impeach the president a week before he leaves office anyway. So much unity. We're just so united.
You just watched Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news channel, now in more than 70 million homes. You can get Newsmax TV on your cable system or check your cable guide. And if your system doesn't carry Newsmax, call them, tell them you want Newsmax TV, because we're real news for real people.